I call this meeting of the Olney City Council, July 14th, 2025 to order. Please rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance. Remain standing as the Reverend Jason Burkhart says our opening prayer. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Holy God, we thank you. Thank you again that we can even approach you in your throne to bring our requests before you, but also to honor you. So I think we just say thank you for life itself. Thank you for opportunities like this where we could serve and serve our community, serve your kingdom. And so again, I pray that level heads prevail. God, we seek your wisdom. We want to do things right and honoring. And so help us to have that mindset even in serving one another. So thank you for the people in this room and their service-mindedness. And bless them as they do that. In your son's name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you very much. Call the roll, please.
Councilman Miller.
Present.
Councilman Fehrenbacher.
Here.
Councilwoman Eichhorst.
Present.
Councilman Iyer.
Present.
Mayor Lambert.
Here. First item on the agenda is public comments and presentations. Are there any public comments? You'll go under the agenda items. Public comments?
I got one.
Yes.
It's a curiosity question. So I have a property over by Silver School. It's an Airbnb, and I haven't been able to make those last two meetings, either coaching soccer or whatever. Just haven't been around. So this is more of a question. Where are we with the lawn? And I know you're trying to do different things there. So this is more of a curiosity question of just how it's manicured or not manicured. I know there's been grass complaints, and then the city, the neighborhood were signing different things to try and stop or support what Jack was doing, or Greg. So that's my question. Where are we on that?
Yes, I would be the one to ask those questions to. What's the question?
Well, like it's not being mowed, and I know there's been plenty of complaints about that, and I know you tried to do the forest preserve or whatever, and I think, you know what I'm saying.
Old Forest Preserve. It comes down to botanical taxonomy. If you really want to get into the, no pun intended, into the weeds about it. And the ordinance states that no plant shall exceed 12 inches in height, lest it be a tree, shrub, flower, or other ornamental plant. So if we get into the taxonomy of what a flower is, if we get into the botanical taxonomy, that is an angiosperm. Angiosperms reproduce by flowering. So what is on the property now is angiosperms. The grasses have been round up and killed last fall. You may have noticed it was brown most of the fall, and into the spring it seeded itself with flowering plants, angiosperms. Now the 10 feet of the perimeter is being manicured, and bushes and shrubs have been planted on the west side and in front of the gym and in front of the entrance. And that has been kept manicured and trimmed because that is, it remains grass. But the balance of the property, as it becomes treed, will remain in the native angiosperms that self-propagated this spring. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it seems like a good loophole, but I just want to say it's looking like garbage. Of course, I have a vested interest. And again, I like you, so I'm just trying to figure out where it goes from here. Does it just grow not out of control?
Most of
But-
these plants will be 12. Some of the highest ones will be 24 inches. Some of them, I mean, there's narrow leaf plantain, which is on the north, primarily on the north side of the property. That only gets about 8 inches before it tops out. There's broadleaf plantain. There's a considerable amount of larkspur. There are some wild lettuces there. Those get maybe 15 inches, but these are all plants that will flower. Now they have the majority of them flower in the late summer or fall. Most of these are fall flowering plants. So you will see more and more color come on as the season progresses.
So my next question is, if I kill all my grass, I don't have to mow?
Well, this is if you want to, we can had a special meeting regarding this situation, and the city attorney said that the flower is something that could be contested if it wants to be brought before the council, and then if it wants to be contested, it should become an agenda item, and then the council will address it, and if if they can come to a conclusion whether flowers are, as I see, you claim a loophole, I see as an opportunity to allow flowers to grow there. For pollinating, I'm interested in allowing pollinating plants for the wasps and bees and butterflies and that type of thing. Then it might go to if it needed to, go to court of law and let a judge determine exactly what is meant by a flower. So if you would just pursue that, it needs to be put on the agenda.
So then it just goes, I'm asking that, I mean, is that just where it stands then? Just leave it be?
So I suspect that that's between our code enforcement and the city attorney as to what was said.
Well, it was stated that if it was going to be contested, that it was to be brought before the council. Is that right, Dallas?
That's right.
Yeah. And then we would determine what is meant by a flower. Now, Jason, on your side, I mean, on the north side of my directions right, south side of the gym, and that's just being mowed. I mean, that's just grass. There's a gym and facing your property. And the front's being mowed.
I know.
That's all grass on the southeast corner. That's all mowed grass. That would be adjacent to your property that you rent.
Yeah, you could just see all of it. That's I know all the neighbors I talk to are not pleased. It's looking pretty rough. So, that was it. I was more asking questions, and it just is what it is. That's what I'm asking.
I guess,
So we don't have to respond, these are public comments.
that's a poor way to run a meeting.
Right. I mean,
Well, I feel
Dallas has summarized it, I mean, if, right? Yeah, I mean, if it's gonna be contested.
They need to come to council.
Yeah, yeah,
And I feel I've explained my situation, I believe, as clearly as I can, off the cuff, you
Okay.
had no preparation.
Okay, that was it.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Very much. Any further public comments? Further public comments? Seeing none, we'll move on. Next item on the agenda, presentation of ordinance resolutions. It's an ordinance for a special use permit for vacant land with tax IDs 06-33-302-003, 06-33-300-013, 06-33-100-007, and 06-33-10-008 as applied for by Gaddy Bridge Solar LLC. Mr. Barker?
Well, on July the 7th, the Plan Commission met and approved special use permit. Now, the next step of this is to come to the city council for ordinance, and that's what we're doing tonight.
Hi. Now, okay, I'm Desiree Noisette. I'm the permitting project manager for Gaddy Bridge Solar LLC, which presented this project. And I'll keep this very brief. First, I just wanted to introduce myself, and also my colleague Ruben Grandin is here. He's our Director of Development, who has been working on this project for a couple years now. And I also wanted to express my gratefulness and say thank you to the community first and foremost. We held a really small, little meeting for neighbors, and a couple showed up and provided some very important input that we were able to incorporate into our project. This project actually we pulled it so that pulled it from our original application so we could incorporate community feedback, and came to some really good changes, and then presented the project again with no opposition. So I also want to thank the Planning Commission for listening to our project, reading all of the materials. I know this was a novel in a couple of ways, novel in that it's a new type of project for the community, and novel in the fact that it was quite a bit of materials that were provided. So thank you for looking at everything and for the unanimous support at the Plan Commission meeting. And last, I'd like to thank the Fairbacker family for trusting us with their land, to be stewards of their land in a small community where everything matters. And in investing in their community as well and seeing the opportunities that this solar project has to reduce electric bills and provide a more stable grid for the community here. And lastly, I would just want to touch on one of the specific kind of loose ends from the Plan Commission. And I was just speaking with the city attorney about this and also emailed with Kelsey a little bit this week as well. The decommissioning plan is something that still needs to be resolved. And typically with these land use permits, there's a condition that requires us to come to some kind of agreement with the governing body before construction can happen, so that there's documented decommissioning plan. I sent over a very draft version for review and comment, and just had the opportunity to talk a little bit about some of the key points. And I think we already are in agreement with a suggestion. In particular, there's the decommissioning plan. It provides assurances for you all, so that if, God forbid, something terrible goes, we go under or something like that, there's a pot of money there that you all can pull on in order to deconstruct. It also provides guidelines for us on when we deconstruct, how we deconstruct. It incorporates the Illinois Department of Agriculture guidelines and laws, along with other environmental controls. And one of the major sticking points was that in some of these plans, we put together, okay, this is the cost to deconstruct, but a portion of the materials can be salvaged. The net salvage value is what we cover in a bond. Well, we were just speaking, and there was a really good point brought up that, well, sure, if we're deconstructing it, we might know who to sell items to or have subcontractors that'll come and take things, but the city would not necessarily have access to those same resources. So we were asked to provide a bond for the full amount of the decommissioning, and we're totally fine with that as well. So I just wanted to make sure that was on the record. And I'll continue to be in communication, and I'll provide an updated proposed decommissioning plan in the next week, and then maybe go from there is what I'm thinking. Okay.
Questions,
So, thank you.
comments?
Does the council want to have a meeting, approve the plan at a meeting, or just by resolution, or just kind of by, pass it around? How do you wanna handle the plan, in other words, from a time frame? And she said she's not in a huge hurry to get this, but I would say that if not next meeting, the meeting after that, we can.
That's fine. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I do have a question, or more of curiosity on the decommissioning plan. Is a money amount set aside in a bond?
Yes,
Is
sir.
that the establishment? And how have you established what that cost might be 30 years out? I mean, is it adjustable?
It
Will it-
usually is adjustable.
Okay.
So some of the ordinances or just operations of these projects, the governing body might have their own county attorney county engineer, look at the project and certain timeframes and adjust, or they require us to have a report in certain timeframes, every 10 years, 5 years.
So it is a
so
set
forth.
amount that can be adjusted over
Correct.
time
Correct.
versus wording such as you will be solely responsible for the complete removal at decommissioning. Regardless of what the cost would be then, you're just responsible for the decommissioning.
I'm sorry, can you explain the question?
Instead of saying a set amount, it could also be worded so that you would just be liable for the complete cost of decommissioning at that time, at the time of decommissioning.
Yes and no. So it is worded that way. We are responsible.
Okay.
That is what the plan says. But then the financial assurance
Wants
is
some
is
number
like,
put with it.
you need to have some
Okay.
kind of number, and really that's like if we're not around anymore for some
Unless it
crazy
does go
reason.
the life of the project.
Right. You would still want us to say a number so that we can get a bond, because the
Okay.
bonding company won't let us just do an unlimited amount.
Could you educate me? I don't know a lot how, beyond that, I see them around does the municipality receive any form of sales tax revenue, or, because I'm not familiar with that, or any other revenues like property taxes from them?
Yes, so not sales tax, it's not, Ruben, is there sales tax that would be? Not that, yeah, there's, higher property taxes And so your local tax does increase. That was one of the documents that we submitted. We went ahead and got an estimate from Richland County. Let me pull it up real quick. But it was somewhere in the neighborhood, an estimate of, here we go. So there's a couple of parcels, and this is just an estimate that would be revised, but it's over $50,000 in property taxes just in the first year. And so this is a 30-year project. So we're talking about, well over $1 million in local taxes. So that does go. There are line items for, looks like the school, fire, college, roads as well. Yes. Plus 10% or so discount for any Emeren customers that decide to sign up and subscribe.
Further comments or questions?
Thank you.
Further comments or questions? I would accept a motion to approve the ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any further discussion? Further discussion. Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is presentation of the consent agenda, which I skipped over. Approve minutes of the council meeting on June 23rd, 2025. Approve and authorize payments of accounts payable July 15th, 2025. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is facade improvement grant request. 112 South Whittle Avenue. Ms. Herman. Do you have anything to add on the facade improvement grant? This is for Threads of Hope consignment. Total project cost $78.28. They're requesting $39.14. Questions or comments?
If we approve both of these, if I understand correctly, this would put us beyond our 20,000 facade grant limit. If we're-
That is correct, and so as I was, so this money was originally set aside to come from Love's Truck Stop and the money generated from Love's Truck Stop gambling. So far, it has been averaging in the first 3 total months that it has been open about $2,800 a month, which over 12 months will be around 34,000. So that should cover all of this.
So currently, we don't have the balance for it. is what
No,
it is.
we do not, but we also don't have to pay until the bills come in either, so. We have generated about 7,500, I think, out of that, 8,500 probably.
8,200,
Yeah.
but I don't show my averages to be quite as high as yours.
That's what I checked today when I looked at the Illinois Gaming website, how much we received.
It's 8,200, but if you annualize that, that's only 24,077.
The first month was only partial though,
Yeah,
it was a half month, yeah.
So here in about a month and a half, it should be.
So tomorrow we'll know how much May was. Generally tomorrow usually comes in on the 15th of the month.
So, so if we approve them.
We
then
would eventually have to amend the budget to add a little bit more to this, that is correct.
If we approve beyond the budget, well, we would currently be very close to, we'd be a little bit beyond it, but we could wait a month or so to do that. I'm sure that we would get there, no question about it.
Yeah.
In the future, we'd want to see if we're spending beyond that amount.
Unless things can consistently change or change significantly with how much that's bringing in, it will cover what we've got now. We're not taking any more, so.
So these will put us 3,000 over our budgeted. I wouldn't be opposed to approving these two, and then we'll try again next year.
Because it looks like the income from Love's will cover it
Yeah.
for the year. It just isn't there yet, but it projects out to cover it.
I don't think I'm a fan of just continuing to
Yeah.
approve them, like, okay,
Indeed.
it's probably shut off after these two are approved, and then
So-
we'll look at the numbers next year and decide when we would reopen it and how much it's
Right.
for.
I
That's
agree with
just
that.
what I think, though.
Sounds like a plan. So for the first one, facade grant, 112 South Whittle Avenue.
So moved to approve.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next one is facade improvement grant for 412 East Main Street, which is for Hovey's Diner. They're going to replace the awning and windows in the front. Total cost, $5,000. Total project cost, $10,160. Questions, comments, or motion to approve?
I'd make a motion to approve.
Second,
Second.
any questions or comments? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is a resolution to accept quote for manhole rehabilitation, waive formal bidding procedures, and amended 25-26 budget. Mr. Bridges.
At a meeting, a couple meetings ago, council approved relining one manhole, intersection North Avenue, and East Street. That bid was just under $10,000, and one of the big reasons was mobilization for that. Since North Avenue is the next street to be redone, and we're in the process of doing plans for water line relocation on that street, we thought it might be prudent to go ahead and reline all the manholes in North Avenue. So, we contacted the same company, well, Jeff did, and for 10 manholes, the amount's $32,000. So basically the cost per manhole went down,
2/3.
yeah, quite a bit
Yeah.
to do that.
So,
So to do that, I guess we have to, since we already have one manhole with this company, it would be prudent to go ahead and do it and have this company do the remaining 9 manholes while they're here.
You already know what I'm gonna ask probably. What's the equipment cost to do it ourselves?
Yeah. The equipment cost for just the machine is just under $23,000.
Okay,
Now, that machine is, I'll pass this out, is not, it's on wheels, but it's not on a trailer.
alright.
So, get these out here.
I assume we'll have to send a couple of guys to some kind of training.
It would take training in Arkansas. I think it's like 3 days of training.
Okay,
Here's some, that's the equipment. Sorry. In addition to that equipment, like I say, it's on wheels, but it's not on a trailer. So if it's gonna be, used, it's either gonna be loaded into a truck or put on a trailer. Probably gonna need a water tank unless you're close to a manhole. So it would probably be good to, have it on a trailer where you could load up the pallets of material and a water tank and this equipment. In addition to that, probably gonna have to upgrade, not probably, you will have to upgrade the confined space equipment, safety equipment. The tripod, the winches, harness, ventilation blower, gas monitor.
we don't have any of that now?
It may be, if it's
Surely
adequate
we
enough,
do.
if it's adequate enough.
Okay,
So, all that stuff together, you could be looking at, $45,000. If all that's needed. To
Training included?
get set up, what's that?
With the training included or just
No,
the equipment?
the training is included when you buy the
Oh.
equipment. Now, you have to pay to get in there. But they would pay for lodging and food and
You
all
won't be able
that.
to use the equipment years down the road.
material cost per manhole,
Right.
be-
This comes in the bag.
yeah.
And depends, it takes about a bag per foot. So say, average 8 foot, it'll take about 8 bags per manhole. Prices range anywhere from $20 a bag to $45. So $30, you're looking at $250 probably per manhole, for
Yes.
material.
right, okay.
And this is a cement based, more of a cement based, this is not
Okay.
epoxy, not like that. Um, it will probably take 3 people to operate it. One person applying it, one person will, all they're gonna do is, be on top watching the person in the hole, making sure the gas monitor is okay, the ventilation's working okay, if something happens, they can get them out with a winch. Third person will be, putting the material in the hopper. And the size of that hopper and capacity of the pump, if you're going full blast, they'll empty the hopper every 4 minutes. So,
It's not
It'll-
that takes long to do a manhole.
so it'll
right now.
take, but the person loading it's gonna have to
Hustle.
keep at it. Keep at it. And then once it's lined, there will be some handwork at the bottom. The fillets around the pipe coming in. The other thing is the preparation of the manholes. You could probably do the lining 2 a day, but the preparation, if there's any old rusty steps in there, they gotta be cut off. If there's any big holes in the brick, they gotta be patched, gotta be cleaned, gotta be power washed. So that's probably gonna take a day to get 2 manholes ready, at least. So in general, we average 1 a day. If things go good.
So if, we bought that, say 10 years from now, we have a turnover of employees, what would we do to retrain them, or train them rather in the first place? We'd have to send them to a special, training.
Yeah, had to be trained. And in addition to that training, there's also the confined space training, which would be more internal here. There's a permit process.
Do they not have a
Don't
confined
know.
space training?
They probably do. They probably do.
Surely they do.
Yeah.
I don't know how they could work.
But it would have to be, since this is gonna be kind of a bigger operation, there'd have to be documentation, record had to be kept. Everybody would have to go to training for this, safety, emergency plan, rescue plan.
How many manholes do we have in the town that are masonry?
Now that, I don't know the exact number. It's probably in the hundreds.
How many need attention?
All of them.
Probably a lot, except for the ones that have just been precast concrete recently.
So,
And when did we start doing those, in the 60s, 50s, 70s?
Probably in the late 60s, 70s.
so we're getting a real good deal on 10, it's about $3,200 to have them come in and just do 10. Now, if there's the one-off now and then we're paying the 8,000 or 9,000 per manhole.
Right.
So,
Mobilization's about $5,000 a day.
so if we could aggregate 10 at a time or 20 at a time to have done in one fell swoop, and then we get a lower price. But historically have we been doing these, 1 or 2
We've just
as
started this,
needed?
haven't we?
And, well, the one that came up was because there was a sinkhole
Yeah.
in East Street, and it was more or less an emergency.
So we really have not been relining many manholes
We just
here
started the
for it at
relining
all.
process, haven't
Yeah,
we?
the ones on Main Street
Yeah,
were
yeah,
done,
of course.
and I think that, Jeff did the pump station that was bad, he had it relined.
So if you consider all of the, it's more than just the machines, material, training, safety equipment, man hours, prep. What's your feel? Would it behoove us to try to repair them on our own? Or do you think, boy, that because of everything involved, you just pay the man and have him come in and do the work?
It depends on what else you got going on at the sewer plant.
Yeah.
And the sewer system. A lot of stuff comes up, gonna have to operate the sewer plant at the same time.
So we may not have the manpower
Well,
availability.
It might
when we
be, it might
do.
be, sometimes there would be, other times, it's gonna be tough to do that.
So this does fall under the auspices of the sewer department, not the street department. Sewer,
Yes.
because they often work in conjunction together, but this really would be a sewer department. And what's Jeff feel? We heard what Mr. Lathrop thinks of this situation.
I don't know.
I can imagine, but I don't wanna put words in his mouth.
What do you think, Alan?
Jeff has expressed, concern about putting people down in a hole. I don't know exactly how deep these are, is what I'm sitting here thinking about. How deep are we gonna put people?
Well, for the bed,
6 foot 8
it was 10 of them, and I think the total foot was 92 feet, so they're gonna average about 9 feet.
About 9 feet, so.
I'd like to hear from Jeff, on his thoughts. I wanna get everybody's input before we do this, and I'd really feel a lot more comfortable if we could shelve this for a meeting, so we can talk to more.
I'd like Jeff's 2 cents on it as well.
Yeah. 'Cause I know when you're putting together an operation and you're pulling people from departments,
Yeah, I mean,
and you're talking about training, it's just, it's a lot to consider.
it is, when you put it all together.
I would make a motion to shelve this for, what do you say?
We can't take any action
We're not doing-
on
we're
the
just- we
machinery,
just-
we're just taking action on the way to
Councilman
form the
Miller
bidding
just had a question.
procedures for the 30 or 10 manhole covers, the 30.
But appreciate you doing all the footwork on that, Mike. You know, that gives us a lot of information to make a decision from.
Any further questions? Council?
I have no further questions right now.
Okay, questions, comments, or motion?
The only thing is, it would probably be good if it was a decision made at the next meeting, just because this one manhole is gonna be scheduled pretty quick, and they will need to know if they're gonna do all 10 or just one.
Well, I mean,
Now-
should we push off this decision now, though?
I thought we
don't-
were gonna push off about the machine and
Machine.
equipment, but I think we could make, I'm ready to move on this. This is I think 3,000 a pop is a pretty good price
It is.
while they're here, and their experience and
I think it says
timely.
quote, I don't know how staunch they'll be on that, but it says it's something
What can-
I didn't see that.
advanced rehabilitation technology.
32,143.
Created June 18th, so valid till July.
I would say they'll be flexible on that, but
So the decision to do this really can't wait, the equipment just really needs to be a long-term thought process.
that's what I would
I
recommend.
mean, 'cause it's gonna take us a while to get training and up.
Get the
It would
machine
be.
training, but
You know, just, it would be good to probably get these manholes
done.
done
Okay.
now.
I just don't wanna continue to kick the can down the road.
Right.
No, I
We're always,
understand.
we already went 10 grand, now we're another 32.
Mhm.
And Mr. Bridges is saying door-to-door price is 45, well, we're at 42 right now. So I don't wanna just continue to, boy, we really need to look at that one of the, no, we need to look at it.
So can we bring,
I think that 32,000, that's all 10.
But that's 10.
So it's
That
actually
includes
the
the-
10 plus 22 more.
That includes the one, they're just
Okay.
gonna drop the price on it.
Okay,
So we're still at 32 for the 10.
okay. So our previously approved 10 is part of this 32.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
it more palatable.
and then let's bring in Jeff at our next meeting and
Yeah.
talk about this a little more. All right, questions, comments, or a motion to approve?
Make the motion to approve.
Second,
I'll second.
further comments, questions? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Get that?
Yep.
Very good.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is a resolution to declare July 20th through the 26th, 2025 as John Newton Week in the city of Olney. Mr. Fairmont.
Well, I talked to a couple of you on this. A lot of people are aware that the city of Olney is a sister city to Olney, England. And a lot of people are not aware of the connection of Olney and the famous author and hymn writer John Newton. And I thought I'd read just real quick the gravity of how special this man is that we share such a connection with, and a lot of people of faith in this community I think would also feel a real close connection to it, and it happens to be his 300th birthday, which is why I really wanted to bring this up to dedicate this. But John Newton was born in 1725, and at a very young age he lost his mother. After his mother had died, his father sent him away, seemingly abandoned him to a boarding school. And the trauma of that, you know, with a lot of young folks that go through tragedies, it causes disciplinary problems, and it certainly did in his case. He was a very difficult person as far as discipline and being friends with, that he was expelled from his school. His dad, who was a merchant marine, he brought him aboard at the age of 11 to become an apprentice on the ship. And of course, when you're young at that age, you're very influential, and he was around nothing but bad influences. And given both the trauma and his bad influences as it carried on in his life, it caused him to not be able to work very many jobs, not be able to get along with anybody, and certainly have a very nasty attitude as he's going forward. And this carried on. He was later impressed, which is basically drafted into the British Navy for several years, and he was such a vile and wicked person that all of his crew members hated him so much that when he fell over off the ship and needed help back on, his crew members hated him so much that they gave him one offer to get back on, and it was to shoot a harpoon through his leg in order to drag him back onto the boat. And he took that offer. So fast forward a little while later, he became a slave ship captain, and he sailed 3 trips in what was known as the Atlantic slave trade, carrying up to 600 slaves in these ships, treating them cruelly and horribly, and when they would get sick or injured, instead of caring for them, he would toss them overboard. And and after one of those trips, he was on a return sail to England, and he came into a really nasty storm at sea, and realizing in his conscience the horrible deeds of his life, and the fearing his life and his destination that he deserved, he cried out to God and said, please forgive me and save my life for this. And it changed him forever from that point. He eventually got out of the slave trade. He became a minister, and he pastored a church in the town that you know of as Alney. And recalling his experience and the grace that was shown to him, you know, a wretched person, he called himself a wretch like me, he wrote that song, Amazing Grace. And a gentleman that joined him and his church wrote several hymns known as the Alney hymns. One of my favorite is There Is a Fountain Filled with Blood. Beautiful song. And with that, he became a fiery preacher, preaching against the evils of slavery and the slave trade. He wrote a pamphlet called Thoughts on the African Slave Trade, and it would become so well known and famous that he wrote a pamphlet with it. And there was a young man named William Wilberforce that was about to leave the British Parliament, and he convinced William Wilberforce, who was that he was very influential, to stay in Parliament and fight this cause. Well, for 20 years, William Wilberforce, using that pamphlet, eventually convinced the British Parliament to pass the 1807 Slave Trade Act, which outlawed that slave trade, and that would eventually lead to the ultimate abolition of slavery in the entire British Empire in 1833. So, you know, what a life. I know a lot of people can take a lesson from that, and, you know, what's our time? What do we fight for? And I can tell you with my family situation, and, you know, the situation with America today, all of the divorce, all of the broken families, all of the hardship that people are placed with broken families, it should mean a lot to people to be able to have someone that is such a influence to be able to celebrate. Certainly in our town, where we've got the same poverty and problems, I certainly look to them with my children and all them to not take your lot in life, and think that that's you, that you can rise above that. So I would like this resolution, and I would also like to announce that I would like to, on a private in a private sense, raise money to to commission a painting, a mural for John Newton somewhere in town. So I just wanted to announce that as I do this. So I would appreciate this, and I'm sorry it took a little while to do, but you know, such a life deserves such recognition.
Thank you very much. Any further comments or a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Further discussion. Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, aye.
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 Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Thank you very much, Mr. Fehrenbacher. Next item on the agenda is discussion of possible action soliciting bids on the City Hall HVAC system. Mr. Caldwell.
You've probably read what the little notes we had in there. We have an HVAC system here that's over 20 years old, getting to the end of its life. In the last 12 to 16 months, we spent over $1,000 keeping it repaired and going. The A coil is rusting out. And it does the system that heats and cools this room, so that's mighty important. So we would like to go out for bids. We'll put it in the paper. We will mail it to every registered contractor we have that's an HVAC person. And we'll try to get everybody in town to at least get notified that it'll be out for bid.
Questions, comments, motion to approve?
It is in the budget too. Jane's got it in for the budget.
Is there gonna be specs, Dallas, where everybody will be bidding apples to apples?
Yep, specs are already wrote up, 95% furnace with a 15 SEER maybe rooftop unit.
Excellent.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Further discussion? Further discussion. Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda, report from elected and appointed official status report, Mr. Burke.
Let you know that out in the city park, we are installing the mulch and under the playground equipment. That's gonna go a little bit slower than we anticipated because the machine that Frank thought would handle it is not doing quite so well. We're gonna have to do more with by hand and find alternative ways of doing it. But it is going in. He put about 5 bags in today of the big bags, if anybody's seen them out there. But he wants to get it done this week, certainly before the fair, and he's committed to doing that. In the street department, Tyler says the grinding for oil and chip is doing pretty well. They've had some one water line break, I think, but he plans on being it very soon as well and do the oil and chipping about the second week of August. And last but not least was the tennis courts. The company's working on them. They're looking very good. I had to looked at them every night since I've been working on them. Started, I think, about last Wednesday. But doing good with them, and they're should be completed by August the 1st. We're getting some improvements out in that area, in the park and the streets. Things progressing the best we can.
Questions or comments?
I have a question. I've just heard this years ago, and I have no idea if it's true. Is Douglas Drive, that's a city street, right? It's not a
Now it
private.
is. It's now, isn't it
It
City
was,
Street?
it was
wasn't
initially a private
private,
drive,
but
but
then
now
we
it's
took it.
city owned.
Yeah.
Further questions or comments? Or CDC? Chamber of Commerce report.
Couple things. Friends of Sounds of Summer is this week also. Gavin Kirby, local boy, is going to be performing. There will be no concert during the fair. Also, the Chamber of Commerce golf outing is this Friday. If you want to put a team together, we still have some open spots. Call Katie Lambert at the Chamber. That's it.
Thank you very much. Nothing on tourism board?
Nope.
I would accept a motion to enter into closed session to discuss the sale or lease price of real property, acquisition of real property, and appointment, employment, compensation, performance of
moved.
specific